Hi, Andrew Bell with you. We're currently facing a pretty interesting scenario in relation to the construction and housing development industry here on the Gold Coast in particular, as we navigate a couple of realities. The first is the emerging competition between private enterprise and government construction projects, and the competition for labour in particular. As we move towards the vital construction phase ahead of the 2032 Brisbane Olympic and Paralympic Games, many subcontractors and tradespeople in general are increasingly favouring government projects, which are generally more attractive due to their scale, funding security and guaranteed completion pathways. This, however, places further strain on private development, where we have already seen delays, cost blowouts, and in some cases, projects being mothballed or just simply not proceeding. While there has been some stabilisation in building costs in recent times, the conflict in Iran has already placed renewed upward pressure, due mainly to fuel, but also in material pricing. This is expected to continue to impact the construction contracts across the foreseeable future, well into next year. At the same time, developers are well aware that the Olympic-driven demand will further tighten labour availability. As a result, we are now seeing a surge of announcements from major developers seeking to commence their projects immediately across the Gold Coast, trying and get ahead of all of this. The result is a complex and highly competitive environment, one in which private developers, Queensland government projects and local government infrastructure programs are all competing for a limited pool of labour and construction resources, all while building costs will continue to rise. A new pipeline of developments will come to the fore. Two things are becoming increasingly clear. Firstly, not all of the announced projects will proceed to completion within the expected timeframes. Expect delays. We're already likely to see a significant increase in prices of new residential stock over the coming years as supply struggles meet demands. You'll see those price rises. For buyers currently in the market, or those considering purchasing in the near future, completed stock is becoming increasingly attractive. It's where you should be going. It offers certainty of price, immediate occupancy, and no exposure to construction delays or cost escalations. Recent crane counts show that the Gold Coast now has 75 active cranes compared to Brisbane with 64. It'll be fascinating to watch how this pipeline of development activity evolves over the next few years and how the balance between the Gold Coast construction and Brisbane shifts in favour of Brisbane. On another topic, as you may well know, Ray White is the largest real estate group in Australasia. Our weekly data continues to provide a clear snapshot of market conditions nationally. Following the initial uncertainty linked to the tensions in the Middle East over recent months, we are now seeing stabilisation in buyer activity. Now, national auction clearance rates have moved from 55.2% 2 weeks ago to 67.5% last week. That's broadly in line with the same period last year, which was a strong market. Now, the average active bidders per auction remains steady at approximately 2.4 nationally, indicating that while conditions are more measured than perhaps earlier this year, competition has not weakened. We have also seen a modest increase in auction volumes, driven in part by some vendors bringing forward decisions ahead of potential changes to capital gains tax and negative gearing settings ahead of the 30th of June end of financial year. It is worth noting that auction continues to be the most effective method of sale in the current market, consistently outperforming private treaty outcomes in terms of success rates and the time on the market. This is particularly relevant in a market where buyers are increasingly frustrated by private listings that are priced above perceived market value, resulting in prolonged negotiation periods and limited transaction success. At Ray White, we're proud to continue our position as the #1 auction network on the Gold Coast. Our office particularly have been focusing on this for 30 years. Our local auction results continue to outperform national averages, particularly in terms of bidder participation and clearance rates. Finally, I'm pleased to advise that our recent Ray White Bell Group Business Meet Sports Lunch has now raised or netted $122,000, which will be donated to the Surfers Paradise Surf Club to assist in the purchase of critical rescue equipment. With our visitor numbers to the Gold Coast continue to grow annually, demand on surf saving services has never been higher. and we're proud to support the provision of upgraded rescue equipment to help save lives. As always, the market continues to evolve rapidly, reflecting a world of constant change. While conditions can shift quickly, we remain fortunate to be operating in a resilient Australian economy, and particularly here on the Gold Coast. I'll continue to keep you updated as conditions develop. Bye for now.